Yesterday, I finished reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but in a cruel twist of fate, I lost my voice and have only partially gotten it back today, and hopefully I won't cough during this. I already knew that V.E. Schwab is considered by many that I respect on Book Talk to be an auto buy, and I also knew that I was super intrigued by the premise of this book. So I was not going to be surprised if I liked it. But still, I was just stunned at how much I actually just really loved this book. It just knocked my socks off. I know that I'm late to this party regarding this book and to V.E. Schwab, but just in case you haven't read this book or don't know the premise, basically the protagonist, Addie, pays a heavy price for a wish or two that she needed granted in a hurry. She ends up with eternal life, but the catch is, or one of the catches at least, is that no one can remember her after an initial meeting. So, not her family, not her parents, not lovers, and not friends. That is until hundreds of years later when a man remembers her. So there's a huge pivot point in the novel at that stage. Now, first, let me pause and say that V.E. Schwab's writing in this book is, of course, flawless, and it 100% lives up to the hype that she gets. Beyond the premise, I love how she uses language and provides vivid descriptions that really puts you in a scene. She just expertly sets the stage. And also, her characters are just so well drawn and have so much depth to them and are complicated like real people in real life. Uh, After the initial premise is set in the book, in the beginning, it does become sort of a slower burn. So if you're looking for like nonstop action, and page turning type stuff, it might not be for you, even though you get several huge payoffs mid and especially late book. Those qualifications aside, I loved the slow burning beginning of this book because it just really showed you Addie's challenges in the beginning, her struggles, and her trying to figure out the details of the deal that she made and how she could best live with that deal if she could. And I also enjoyed her many journeys through place and time, as anyone would have many journeys if they lived hundreds of years. Uh, but after she meets the man that can finally remember her name and who she is, the firm foundation is already set with that slow burn part in the beginning. And the story just really takes off and takes you on a ride of emotion, of dread, heartbreak, surprise. And The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue became, for me, an all timer. I gave it 5 stars, but I really wish I could have given it the magic 7. And if you know, you know. I want to know if any of you have already read this book and what did you think? Did you have favorite parts to it? Or alternatively, have you read other V.E. Schwab books and what are your favorites? Not that I need to add to my ever growing TBR list, but I would certainly be interested, and maybe you can recommend some of her other books that I might add to it. Let me hear from you in the comments. I'd enjoy reading them.